If it's 2 a.m. and you're scrolling through productivity content, wondering why you can't get your life together, pause for a moment. This might be the most important thing you watch all year. Because I'm about to share 10 unsexy, boring lessons that took me from scattered, reactive, and frustrated to focused, disciplined, and actually producing results. Lessons like number 6 have created hundreds of millionaires, saved me and countless others hundreds of thousands of hours, and I guarantee you'll never have heard half of these before. Let's get started. Lesson number 1. Stop trying to build discipline and focus at the same time. Every productivity expert tells you that you need both discipline and focus to succeed. But to me, it's just flat out wrong. Here's what I learned when I hit rock bottom. And I'm talking like planning workouts for 3 hours and never actually working out, sort of rock bottom. Discipline and focus are two sides of the same coin. If you build one, you get the other one for free. Let me break this down. So first, what does discipline actually mean? Discipline means saying no to things you don't need to do. What does focus mean? Focus means saying yes only to what you need to do, even when you don't really want to do it. So to show you how this kind of works, I want to use an analogy. I want you to think of your life like a house with a bunch of doors. Discipline would be closing and locking every single door that leads somewhere bad or pointless. Focus would be picking the one door that matters and walking through it, even when you want to sit down or go somewhere else or open a different door. If you look at this analogy, you don't need both skills to get to the right door. If you're good at closing the wrong doors, you'll walk through the right one naturally. If you focus hard on the right door, you won't think about opening the others. You don't need both. Both of them get you to the same result individually, right? The real question isn't how to build both at once. It's which one feels easier to start with. Lesson number 2, give yourself a fair chance. Let me ask you a question. Would you expect to bench your absolute max weight ever without ever touching a dumbbell in your life? Would you expect to sink a hole-in-one on your first ever golf swing? Would you expect to drop into a ranked FPS match, never touch a controller in your life, and instantly ace the leaderboard and become the number 1 player? No. So why do you expect your brain to snap from chaos to laser focus in seconds? This lesson I'm about to teach you, I promise you, hit me like a brick to the face when I first learned it. And it's probably going to do the same for you if you just pay attention. And it goes something like this. You're not lazy. You're not broken. You don't have some fatal character flaw. You're just trying to focus in the middle of a carnival and wondering why your mind keeps wandering to the cotton candy stand. Most guys, including, yes, you, including even me, to this day, spend 90% of their time before work, during work, after work, doing all the things that make focus impossible. And then they blame themselves for being weak or undisciplined, not realizing what they're actually doing. So this is what you need to do instead. This is what I started doing instead. You need to flip the script. You need to spend 90% of your time on the things that actually build focus. You need to train your mind like a muscle. You need to remove the distractions that drain it. And you need to set yourself up so that laser focus isn't something you hope for. It's something that actually happens automatically in your life. If you do that, suddenly the work that used to feel impossible becomes effortless because you're not fighting yourself anymore. If this way of thinking just clicked for you, I've got something that might change your entire trajectory. I'm building a free community right now where I'm testing out a complete 90-day turnaround system for men. We're talking one-on-one calls, group coaching sessions, customized app, free cheat sheets, everything completely free for whoever joins now. You are probably wondering, why the hell will I give all that for free? The reason is I need proof that this stuff actually works in the real world, and I need your feedback to make it better than anything else out there for men that's being offered, because that is my goal. And so if you're tired of spinning your wheels and you want to be part of testing something that could be game-changing, click the link below for more info. And by the way, this isn't going to be free forever. In fact, it's probably going to be incredibly expensive and very limited when it's finished. So if I were you, I would take my shot while I still can. Anyway, lesson number 3, your brain has limited RAM. What if I told you there's one variable in productivity that almost everyone overlooks, but that the moment you understand it, everything else suddenly clicks into place? Your brain has something that I like to call bandwidth, just like your phone or your computer have bandwidth. Bandwidth in this context is the finite amount of focus, energy, and attention you can spend at any given time. It's pretty much your mental space. And just like your Wi-Fi slows down when too many people are streaming Netflix, or your PC slows down when you have GTA, Fortnite, NBA 2K, and whatever the hell else downloaded all at the same time, your mental performance crashes when your bandwidth is clogged with complete and utter garbage. The issue is that the likelihood that you'll do something or become something is proportional to how much bandwidth it takes up in your brain. Research shows that small changes in what occupies your mind can have a massive effects. Our brains are also wired for confirmation bias, right? Once you start thinking about something, you notice it everywhere. What your mind focuses on literally amplifies your perception and guides your actions. So you have to consume wisely. Lesson number 4, if a problem cannot be solved positively, positively, solve it negatively. All right, listen, this is going to change the way you handle literally any problem. I'll tell you how I discovered this principle. 2 years ago, I couldn't figure out my life purpose for the life of me. Everyone kept telling me, find your passion, you have to discover your calling, you have to find your dream job. But every time I tried to think about it, my brain would freeze up. I'd think, what if I pick the wrong thing? What if I waste years? And I tried everything I could to find my purpose. I journaled, I did personality tests, I read a bunch of self-help books, probably too much. I watched a bunch of videos. I tried everything I should do to figure it out. But the more I tried, the more stuck I got. I kept asking myself, why can't I just know this? Then one night it hit me. I simply was asking the wrong question. Instead of what is my purpose, I started asking myself, what is definitely not my purpose? Watching videos for hours every day? Definitely not. Scrolling social media until 2 a.m.? Definitely not. Staying in my room avoiding challenges? Definitely not. Complaining about life without doing anything at all? Yeah, hell no. And when I did that, that's when everything clicked. The purpose I ended up building, the purpose I ended up finding through doing that was this channel. The content, all the projects I'm working on, all of it became clear. Doing this, it helped me realize that helping you guys was exactly what I was always meant to do. But imagine I tried to find it positively by just trying to state what I wanted, right? I probably would have never found this mission, right? If I hadn't first crossed out all the obvious wrong answers, there's a 0 chance I would have found this. I literally never would have even thought about it. This whole path literally only became clear because I said no to the things that weren't me first, because I thought negatively first. Lesson number 5, it's what I call the bullshit principle. And this lesson's going to hurt. Being nauseous, being tired, being sore, feeling unmotivated, not being in the mood, none of these things genuinely stop you from doing what needs to be done. They're just layers of bullshit you put on top of your ability to act. My problem with this is that so many times men think they're waiting for the right conditions, but literally you're actually missing the perfect condition because it will never be easier than it is now. Whenever you're watching this, whatever you're going through will never be easier. Your bad habits will only get stronger every second. Your weak identity only more cemented. Your circle will only get worse. This, no matter what moment it is the perfect moment. So cut the bullshit and get to work. Lesson number 6, spend more time working on things and you'll spend far less time working in. Believe it or not, there are 2 ways to do anything you do in life, and most likely you only know the less powerful one. The 2 options are simple. You can work in or you can work on. Most guys spend 100 of their time working in their work. They grind, they react, they handle every little thing as it comes up, and then they wonder why they can never get ahead. Then they wonder why they feel stressed all the time. Then they wonder why every day feels like running on a hamster wheel that keeps speeding up. Working in your work is the hustle. It's the putting out the fires, and you have to do this. But if it's all you do, you'll always be in a reactive mode. You'll always be tired. You'll always be stuck. Now, working on your work, which is what you've never heard about, is where the real power is. It's making the systems. It's making the templates. It's improving how you do things. It's creating tools and methods that let you do the same work in half the time, but with 10 times better results. It's building leverage. And by the way, just like lesson 6, lesson 9 is one you cannot miss. If you implement it, you will get more done in a week than most people do in a month. You will hit your goals faster, and you will finally start seeing tangible progress in your work, your money, your relationship, your life, whatever you want. So stick around for that. Lesson number 7, and this is going to offend some people, but routines are a double-edged sword. Listen, I'll be honest, routines can make or break you, and most people get this wrong, so it actually breaks them. Here's what no productivity guru wants to admit to you. Routines aren't all good. They do come with serious downsides that most of them would like to ignore because it's easy to sell you a routine. Studies on cognitive flexibility, for example, reveal that people who follow identical routines without variation at all actually start to perform worse over time because their brains literally get lazy because they're not being challenged to think and adapt and, push past the limits. There was some research at Harvard I once saw, and maybe I'll pop it up if I can find it, that found that highly creative and successful people deliberately introduce controlled variability into their routines. And I actually do this myself, right? Because these people, they understand that doing the same thing the same way every single day doesn't optimize performance. It kills it. What I like to do is I like to wake up at roughly the same time every day. Give or take 30 minutes. If I have something to do, I'll wake up at 4:30. But almost always, you can ask anyone that knows me, I wake up at 5. And then I just go to sleep when it's right. Some days I grind late. Some days I rest early. This gives you that rigidity, but that flexibility you need, because some days you're just running late. Now, lesson number 8, success is not reasonable or easy. So stop trying to be both. Listen, success, like I said, is not reasonable or easy. So stop trying to make your approach to success reasonable or easy, because your reasonable plan is why you're stuck. Your reasonable goals are why you're bored. Your reasonable methods are why you're getting reasonable results while watching unreasonable people lap you. If your goals don't make other people question your sanity a little bit, they're not big enough. If your work ethic doesn't seem crazy to people, you're not gonna make it. But if it does, then you might actually be onto something. Lesson number 9, focus on high impact work. In my opinion, if there's any lesson that separates guys who work 80 hours a week and guys who get nowhere and do nothing, even though they're working 40 hours a week, it's this one. Most people are trapped in what I call productivity theater. They're acting like they're, productive without actually getting anything important done. They organize their to-do list. They color code their calendars. They clean their desk for the 100th time today. They answer emails that don't matter. They go to meetings that accomplish literally nothing. 6 months ago, I used to do this. Not even gonna lie to you. Probably worse. I would waste my entire day, my entire life, all the time. But 6 months ago, I tracked everything I did for 2 days. I mean everything. Every task, every email, every quick check of social media, every conversation. And I just looked at it and asked myself one hard question about each thing that was on that list. Did this one thing move me closer to my biggest goal or not? And the results were awful because I'm not even kidding. Over 95%, maybe more of what I did had literally zero, if not negative impact on what I actually cared about. I was literally like a hamster, not to use this example again, running full speed on a wheel, burning tons of energy, but going absolutely nowhere. So here's the rule that changed my life and actually allowed me to break past that. Impact. High impact work means doing the work that solves most of the problem in the least amount of time. Imagine your biggest goal like a huge boulder blocking your path. Most people would grab a tiny hammer and chip at it away for years, just constantly hitting it, making almost no progress. People that focus on high impact work would find the crack in the boulder, hit it with a goddamn sledgehammer exactly in the right spot, and that one smart hit would do what 1,000 tiny taps could never do. It's about doing the right things that make everything else not matter. And then, lastly, lesson number 10, never give up. This is it. This is the only rule, in my opinion, that really matters. Because the person who refuses to quit beats the person who's smarter, more talented, better funded, and, focusing on high impact work every single time if they quit, right? Your consistency will always beat some person's random intensity. Your persistence will always beat some person's random one perfect day. I'm telling you, everyone else will quit. I'm not trying to be, pessimistic. That's just the stats. That's just the truth. And if you don't quit, when everyone else quits, you win by default. So never give up.